When you hear supervision, you don't hear help. You hear that I'm going to go to prison and I'm going to do my time, and then they're going to watch me for 4 more years. If I'm working very hard and I'm home, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, then the last thing I want to do is be scrutinized by supervision, especially after I've already served my time. I'm Corey Glenn, the program manager for a program called Exodus at the Salem County Correctional Facility. The conditions I grew up in, I'm from Bristol, New Jersey. It's overpopulated with impoverished people. Anytime I stepped outside of my household, I was inside of a jungle of its own. I had just turned 32, about 4 months shy of me catching the charge, and I was sentenced to 132 months, remanded to United States Marshals. Despite the connotation judges have, and actually that Judge Hillman has, like his reputation is that he's a pretty stern judge. However, I felt like me and him had a connection from when he sentenced me. I mean, I can remember it so vivid. Like I walked in, I was really determined to just make a point that it didn't matter what he sentenced me, that I was going to stay focused on my path of reentry. I took full accountability for my bad decisions, and I explained to him that despite what he was sentencing me to, that I was going to dedicate my life to change once I got home. I worked in the prison 6 days a week, cutting hair in the barbershop. I created a crazy work ethic, and I knew if I came home with that work ethic that I would be okay. Coming out of prison, it was a lot. And I kept my head down, and I just grinded. It's a lot of conditions to supervise release. One, that you can't hang around anybody who has ever made a bad decision before. And for somebody like myself that came home with a mission to straight engage with people who were headed down that path, then it made my mission impossible. The CEO of Life Worth Living, who was a childhood friend at the time, but he was like, yo, I need you back home. And I was telling him like, well, I'm working over here, I'm on supervised release, house arrest monitor on my ankle, I'm going to work every day. I said, but I got about 60 days left on it. I said, and when I get off the ankle monitor, I said, then I'll come and I'll see you. When I got off of my ankle monitor, I came over, we did the paperwork. We started with only 5 employees. I was his first full-time employee. When he wrote his proposals, he had to write who was going to actually be doing the work. So when he was writing for federal funding and state funding, you know, it's okay that you put an ex-con down, but that's actively on supervision changes everything. It changes the conditions at an RFP. You got a guy that's actually on parole that you're saying is going to be doing the work. Like, how does that work out? Is there a conflict there? Which it was. So I knew I had to try to reach back out to Judge Hillman, because I'm like, well, he has the power to, to take me off of this.
My name is Noel Hillman. I'm currently practicing law and have been doing that for a little over 2 years now after many years of public service. My last position was as a United States District Court judge in the District of New Jersey. I really got to know Corey first at his sentencing. After having reviewed, as is typical, a very extensive, thoughtful pre-sentence report, I did not know while he was under supervision that it was an impediment to his reintegration into society, that there were conditions or circumstances where he wanted to achieve something where the supervision was getting in the way. What happened was my courtroom deputy came to me and said, one of the supervisors in probation has been talking to Corey Glenn, and Corey Glenn would like to come see you. He wants to come to see you personally. And it was the first time I'd ever done it and the last time I'd ever done it. I agreed to meet him in my courtroom. As he explained it to me, he had set out on the course that he told me 10 or 11 years before that he wanted to do, that he wanted to help people, that he wanted to counsel young people who might be going down the path that he had gone down, and that he'd found this organization and that he thought they were doing good work. And he said, well, I can be employed in this organization as a convicted felon. Because I'm currently under supervision, we're restricted in the types and amounts of grants that we can get. And I'd like to be able to continue to grow this business along with my boss. And if you could see a way to letting me off supervision, then it would be really helpful for me to fulfill the promises that I had made to you so long ago. I looked over at the prosecutor. I said, well, Judge, I called probation. Corey's doing really well. We won't oppose it. And this is where I may get a little emotional, but I said, well, I'm going to grant it, Corey. I'm going to go back up to my chambers. I'm going to get my robe. We'll come down. I'll go on the bench. We'll get a court reporter. I'll grant your application. I admired his taking responsibility and taking advantage of everything that was laid out before him so that he could keep the promises that he had made to me.
I told him that everything I told him I would do when he sentenced me, that I stayed down. You know, I focused on rehabilitation, reinventing myself, and I sat in front of him doing the work that I said I was gonna do in the community that I said I was gonna do it in. He said when he closed the record that not only was I free, but I was free. Understanding that when you're released from prison on supervision, that the actual supervision term is really an extra set of cuffs. If you can stay in compliance and show like a consistent work pattern, then you should be taken off, because supervision does hold a lot of different conditions and requirements that serve as hindrance when you're just trying to wake up every day and focus on your life. The Safer Supervision Act will allow guys like myself that actually come home and is being successful at reintegration to move forward without any hindrance. I think it's going to be a powerful act because it gives the courts the discretion to individually tailor the cases instead of just putting that blanket over everybody. And guys like myself can get back to their regular lives and be able to thrive without that supervision and that extra scrutiny.